Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 60 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you guys all for being here with me today. It's unbelievable that we have gotten to day 60 without anything blowing up. So luckily, we're all here together again today. So let's be grateful for that and appreciate the time that we have together. Today's tangle is a fun one. It is called HARVEY. It is by my friend Sarah Saffy Fowler, and she is from the UK. If you look on Tangle Patterns on the write-up on this, it's an interesting article, and she has two versions of this tangle. One is a grid version, and another is the random version, and I know that you guys are going to understand which way I'm going to roll, but I'm going to show you both of them, and I'm going to use both ways in my tile, okay? So as we prepare to start with our tile today, let's take some deep breaths together. I'm taking belly breaths, and it's moving the whole easel. One more. 3 is your lucky number. Let those shoulders drop down. Relax, relax your arm, your hands, and all of the rest of that stuff that needs relaxing. Okay. Let's get started. I'm going to start with a string. Yes, I am. And so, for that, I need my 4 dots in the corners. If you are new to Zentangle, these tiles that I'm using are 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I think that's like 9 by 9 in centimeters, but please don't quote me because I definitely could be wrong about that. So I'm definitely going to use my Maria Thomas loop today, just for fun. I never know exactly what it's going to look like or where it's going to end up, and that's all right. I missed my dot. That's okay too. All right. And for a string, I think I'm going to just divide this up a couple of different ways. Okay. So now, for the grid form of HARVEY, let's go into this. So what we want to do is we want to go down the middle of our string line or strip or whatever you're going to use, and we're going to make a series of dots in triangular patterns. So let me show you what I mean. More like an orb, okay? So diagonally from that, and diagonally from that, and diagonally from this, and diagonally from that, and so on, and so forth. And it's kind of hard to believe, but that actually didn't cause me to hemorrhage or anything. So, okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start by connecting these on the zigzag with 2 parallel lines, okay? And they're not, I repeat, not going to touch the orbs, okay? So you're going to leave space. Okay, like this. Not too hard. Just turn your tile and go on the diagonal. That's where we're going to want to hook these up. Remember to try to use the same stroke each time. That is my own reminder, as I am terrible about changing up my strokes. And inevitably I choose the wrong one. I'm going to stay with pushing out because that seems to be working for me so far. Okay, So it's turned a little bit, and they're a little wonky. It's going to be fine. Let me show you. So now we are going to take each of these points, each of these orbs, we're going to put a set of parallel lines straight up or straight out, or let me show you. And again, leaving space, okay? So we are not, again, not touching this to the orb. These lines can be a bit curved if that's what you need in the space. And I think I'm going to put in another set, one here, and something going like that. All right, now we're going to aura around each of these little orbs. So we're going to connect each one of these. Well, with an aura of the orb. Take your time and be careful so that when you put down your pen and pick it up again, you have a nice result. That is so frequently where I have my issues with stray pen marks. So far today, we haven't done too poorly. And so now you know why we aren't going to connect these to the orbs. This pattern is all about the spacing and the connection between these. Okay, so now what I want you to do is start at one of your points that point out. Okay, and I want you to draw a little heart-shaped double bump here, like this. And you don't want to go too far over because we're going to have to do this coming down on this other side as well. Okay, so we're going to have to fit two of these in. All right, so go to the next one. Like this. All right, and so this one would be, okay. Now turn your tile upside down and do the same thing. The top one can be kind of weird, but the bottom one needs to behave. Okay. Okay, now we're going to turn the tile again and do the insides, okay, of the other sides. So wherever you have an empty spot here where these lines come out, we're going to put another one in, okay? So we're going to put one here, even though this one is kind of crazy. I just overshot that a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Just put a little heart bump on there, or two heart bumps on there. Yeah, it's not hard. And when you're done, this is what you should have. Okay? Now over here, I'm going to start some random ones. And actually, I think I'll start over here first. The question is, do I want to aura this before I do that? And I think I do. just to make sure that we've got some separation between sections. Otherwise, I'm afraid the grid pattern will get lost. Auras can be powerful tools. Remember that Maria Thomas says, when in doubt, aura. And if that doesn't answer your question, aura it again. Besides doing a job of creating space, they can be decorative or can become decorative. And they are a really nice way to pretty up a tile, to give it sort of that finishing look. Just remember to take your time. We are not in a hurry. Most of us are not going anywhere very fast. So I want you to take your time. Do a nice, careful job. Now that is a lot of fun, and we will decide what to do with embellishing here after a bit. Now let me get on to the organic part of this, the random grid part. All right, so to draw that, you're going to start with your little dot once again. Okay, and then you're going to draw 3 sets of double lines out, just like we have here. All right, except you've got to kind of decide on your own how that's going to look. Okay, then we're going to aura. Okay. And then we're going to add the petal shapes with the little heart bumps. Okay. So now what do? Well, in this version, you want to put another dot right here where the heart bumps come together. All right. Then we're going to aura this curved line of this shape right here. So we're going to do this. Okay, then straight out, we're going to put our 2 parallel lines. Then we're going to join these with our heart bumps. I don't know what else to call them. That works though. Okay. Oops, I forgot to aura in here, and it looked funny. So let's do another one. Put your circle down in here where the heart bumps come together. Aura the curved lines next to it, but do not connect them to the dot. Put 2 more parallel lines straight out, but do not connect them. Now aura these lines together and connect with your heart bumps. All right. And you can see I'm going to just do that this way. Okay, so the cool thing about this is we can treat it completely differently than we can treat this. This has a structure and a form to it, and while this has structure and form, there's also a little bit more freedom here to play. So let's put another one right here. Circle or orb, aura, aura, Parallel lines out. Aura, aura. Now connect them with your heart bumps. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I could put one over here. Orb, aura, aura, parallel lines, and heart bumps. Okay. Now we'll separate all of this out as we edit. We'll separate these sections with some shading here in just a minute. So let me come over here and decide what I want to do here. I can either place them around this loop, or I can do maybe a single one in the loop and leave the rest blank. I'm not sure. Let's do a big one in here and see what happens. I make no promises. Okay. It's a little different looking, but I think we can live with it. Okay, so as far as coming together like these, you can really handle that however you want to. And I really haven't gone far enough with this pattern to know how this is going to affect this. So let's give this a try. and see what we've got. So I'm trying to think. Let's just play this out. I don't know why we always have to experiment on my tiles. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, y'all. Well, I ended up going behind on that one. So I guess we're done on this. You'll have to play with this configuration for the random. It works a couple of times around, and then you kind of have to do something different. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a very cool way of doing this. So I really like this. So let's shade. Actually, let's embellish, since we do like to embellish. Okay, now embellishing. So on the examples that I did really quickly before, I tried out this type of a thing, which I really liked, and so I probably will add lines to my random ones. I liked this as well, if you like it a little bit lighter. On this one, I loved the sparkling that you can do, so you could do that in color. You can use your black pen. That would be pretty dynamic if you did. You can use line weight on one side of this, although there are places here that I used it on multiple sides. This aura is not in the step out, but I added it in and it was pretty cool, so I may or may not do that. And I don't know how this would look if you added like the little stripes or the radiating lines. And you could do something like that. And of course, like I said, you could do, I think I can go over this pencil. You can handle these auras in several ways if you decide to use those. Most effective, of course, is to use the sparkle in it. Okay, so there's multiple things we can do embellishing wise. Let's figure out what we are going to do. So I think on my random ones, I'm going to go through and put a tiny little aura line around these heart bumps and see where I can get with that. And I say a tiny little aura because I don't want this to be huge and large. I think I'll just pull it out and land it right there. And then handle this in sections, maybe. I really like that. You could also black these in different sections, or I don't know, there's a lot of things you could do. So I'm just going to sort of be creative here and let my creativity sort of guide where I'm going. And if I don't want to do something, I won't. If I do, I will. And I am always down with making pretty flowers. So I think we know that we're going to be fine. At least to me, Harvey looks like a flower pattern. That's just me. orange is fine. Still having trouble getting out of the house. It is getting really, really hot here, as it usually is in the summertime. June in Oklahoma is surpassed in the heat only by July and August. It is usually really hot here. The only people that have it any worse than us is Texas, I think, with the heat. I mean, whoops, I did not mean to do that, but we're about to see how it looks. New Mexico gets heat, but they aren't nearly as, they are dry there. They don't have the humidity that we in Texas have. And of course, the further east you get, the worse that is. I would not want to live in Georgia or Alabama or Louisiana at this time of year. Not that those aren't lovely places, because they are. It's just so freaking hot and humid. There's something about that just makes all the energy just leave my body. Not that I had a lot before, so let's go easy on that. I don't like having to get out for PT, but I understand that it's a necessary part of the healing process, and I very much want to be healed. So we're gonna keep going, at least till I pass out in the parking lot. All right. So I do like this, and even though you know, my R's have gotten, you know, they have some issues here and there, they're still going to work just fine. And I like the radiating lines a lot. So you might want to try this, you might not. Again, it is your art, and you decide what you're going to do. It is not my job to tell you what to do. Thank God. I have enough trouble telling the kid what to do. He doesn't listen either. But he loves me. And he's stuck with me. So we're going to be all right. I really do like how this sort of brings the pattern together. And this is why the 01s are nice to work with, is because they're tiny and they fit into these small spaces. Those. I'd be lucky if that's not what I do on all of it. Okay, it was a little different with those lines, but I enjoyed that. So let's move over here. Actually, let's go back to this center, the grid one. And I can't decide whether I want to put an inner aura on each of these petals or not. But I think I'm going to try it and see what happens. When in doubt, aura. If you can't trust Maria Thomas, who are you going to be able to trust? And I am just going to put this on the top part. So I'm going to aura the part where we do the heart bumps and nothing else. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if that's going to get us anywhere good, but let's continue. Okay, that's kind of cool, giving us some layering sort of effect. Okay, I think I got all my spots. So I like that, I do, and I'm still tempted to do my blacking with a sparkle on the edges of that. I think it's going to be really dynamic. So I'm going to do it and hope for the best. Now remember, if you're going to sparkle and you're doing it on a curve, the place that you want to aura, or excuse me, the place that you want to sparkle is the apex, the top of the curve. Okay? So in this instance, it would be right in this area. Okay? Somewhere in there. It can be, you know, wherever you think it's right. Okay. Just like that. And once again, your smaller pins make for a good choice when doing those kinds of things. Your 01 or your 005. Now you can see the outer aura here has really helped create distance between this and the other pattern, and I think I'm going to be glad I added that when it comes to shading. So that's this section, and I love this section. So I'm wondering over here what to change up, or if I even want to change anything up. I think I'm going to try these without this little aura around them and see how they turn out, and try to sparkle these. We'll see what happens. Like this version too. And I love the way these lines seem to merge into each other. We'll see how it looks when I get finished. So here's where I'm at, and I'm not sure how much further I'm going to go. I I think I'm going to leave these spaces blank. And I may see if I can put another element in right here so that this is overlapping. And maybe another one over here. But then when I shade, I'm going to shade right around in here, especially if I've got these radiating lines. Remember, anywhere lines converge, that's a natural shading place. So as these lines are coming together right in this area, that's where I'm going to want to put some graphite. And the same with the rest of these. Just you don't put it on this side, you just put it on this side. And now here, I think I mentioned on my example I used the line weight on one side. So what I did there was I just took my pen and put just a little bit of a thicker line there. Okay, and then I'm going to stay on that side. I'm not going to do any on the other side. Got a plane landing. We're just a few blocks, very close from a little airport, a small craft airport. So we occasionally get them coming in and out. They're not usually this time of day. Get a lot more on the weekends usually. Okay, not that anybody cares. So I have line weight on one side of all of these to sort of help give it a little bit of definition. I haven't really decided. I think there's going to be shading. Let's try it out. So this is my black Verithin again. This will lift with an eraser if I need it to. So I think when I shade these, I'm going to shade these elements right here, where I have put the line weight. I'm going to add a little bit of color there. And you don't have to do it this way. If you have another idea for how this can be done better, then I want you to do it. And I want you to post your art and tag me with it so that I can see what you're up to. I really get a kick out of seeing you guys' art. It pleases me. Now, I'm not exactly getting a smooth blend here, but I will work on this. This will smudge a bit with a tortillon, so that's nice. And it doesn't have that graphite-y glint that I get. I have to buy myself some of those True Color lights. I have not even looked for them yet, but it sounds just like what I need. All right, I think I've got all my spots. So now I just need to blend them out a little bit. What I'm doing right now could be done with a colored pencil as well. I would think that the Verithins would look really good doing this. But I'm sort of in a black and white vibe right now, so that's cool. And you can see that even though my shading isn't over the top as far as complex, it's very effective. This is very effective. Not overwhelming, but effective. So, you know, something to think about. So each one of these places where the lines come together, I'm going to give this some of this black Verithin. Sort of enhance the shading a bit. And of course, any elements that are overlapping, you want to hit those. All right. Okay. That is where I'm going to leave you guys today. I will continue to work the shading and some other aspects of this to give it a little bit of interest. I will also figure out a way that I can do something I can do in the back so that I can sort of draw all of this together. I don't know if it's whether I add more of these little random elements or what, but I will think of something. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day 61. Amazing. Don't forget, if you've missed any of these videos, you can watch the playlist right here. Or if you haven't seen this video, you might want to check it out. And right here in the middle, you can subscribe. Thanks so much for your support, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.